What's going on, everybody? Y'all already know the vibes, and today we're talking NYSL. This is their champs preview video. This team has probably had the most obstacles out of any other team, maybe besides LAT, throughout the entire year. They've had their fair share of ups and downs. You know, they got third at the first major. This is when DiamondCon was on the team. Kind of had a poor second major with DiamondCon. And then that's when they made the switch to get Hydra for stage 3, where they got second. They looked great. Honestly, they made it to the finals of the stage 3 major in winners bracket, but then FaZe stormed all the way back. And I believe they beat them 5-2, 5-3 in the finals. But once they picked up Hydra, they were a top team, except things didn't get any easier when it came to unfortunate events happening. Because after that stage 3 fantastic showing, you thought, I mean, they had a good stage 1. Stage 2 was not so hot. That's why they made the move for Hydra. Great pickup. They went on like a 13 streak of being undefeated in hardpoint with Hydra. But going into stage 4, there was another issue. Seam couldn't get his visa in time, so they had to go with a fill-in. They had to go with Decimate. And Decimate's not a bad player by any means, but Seam is one of the most impactful players in Cold War this year, and he is one of, if not the most important player on that NYSL team. He really does everything for that team. It's not a shot at his teammates. It's just he is that good. So they didn't have the best showing with the fill-in Decimate. And then going into stage 5, there were more issues. Clay decided that he needed to take some time off for his mental health, which is respectable. I'm not going to talk about behind the scenes stuff because it's just not my position to do so. But so then they have DiamondCon back in instead of Clay, and they don't look good. They don't look good at all in stage 5, especially at the major. But now the core is back. The team is back. This is the second event with this 4 that they've played with all year, and I feel like they've been a team for so long. There's just been so many issues with this team. It's hard to really gauge where they truly stand. And once again, guys, I'm not going to go too far into their individual KDs throughout the entire year. The only real standout player in terms of that is Hydra, coming in number 5 with a 1.11. They found an absolute gem, needle in a haystack situation, where Hydra came over from I think he's from Paris, and he just an absolute star in the make. I mean, he already is a superstar in the league, but just an absolutely world-class player. Besides that, the rest of the team kind of falls around a 1, which is good. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want to talk more about the issues with their team, kind of go over some of their records, their map game mode records, and what I think they're going to need to do to have a chance at being crowned COD or Cold War World COD playoff champion, whatever it is. And it's kind of tough because we haven't seen this whole team play together that often, realistically. You know, if I went back to stage 3, where we actually saw these 4 players play together, this is the event that they got second at the major. They were fantastic at hardpoint. They were 12-2 overall. In S&D, they were very good at 8-5. Their control was 2-7. But that was so far ago. It was so long ago. Cold War's a completely different game than it was for these players and these teams. And if I compared it to the stage 4 and stage 5, it doesn't really represent them that well. And the reason is because they had all these issues where Seam couldn't play, where Clay couldn't play or didn't play, you know? The only thing I can say for sure is no matter what the roster, no matter what was going on, they've had one weak spot when it comes to their game modes, and that's control. They've been solid at hardpoint. They've been solid at SND. Their control has been very weak, and it's been that way for a while. I can't really touch on it too much because I don't watch their scrims. I'm obviously good friends with Seam, but I'm not in the call every day with them talking, yo, how you guys doing the control? How you guys doing a hard point? What maps are you guys vetoing, you know? because then I look like a LAT op. You know, I look like a spy. And that's just not who I am. I'm the content curator for 100 Thieves. So I could sit here and I could talk about, you know, what I think they might need to improve on in certain modes and some whatever. But it's not going to matter because this team hasn't really gotten the reps they need as a team because of all these issues. So what I want to talk about is their make or break, is how they treat what happened in the past month, 2 months going in the champs. Because we're going to look back. Stage 4, they started out great. They went, I believe, 4-1 in the regular part of that stage. And then Seam couldn't go to the major because of his visa issue. And they beat Florida. And they got bodied 3-0 by Minnesota in the first round with Decimate. Then they beat Florida and they lost to Empire. And I know that there were not... people on the team weren't mad at Seam because of it. It was an unfortunate situation. But it obviously sucked, you know, because you had that great stage 3, stage 2, or stage 4. A little late. In the group was fantastic. And then they just fall flat. They don't have a good stage 4 major. And then stage 5, Clay's like, hey, I need time off. And without going too far into detail, guys, I know it rubbed certain players on New York the wrong way. Okay. Mental health is something serious, you know, so I get that. When your mental health isn't the best, you're going to be irritated a lot more easily. You're going to not want to do certain things. You're going to be more toxic. Like, it's not an excuse, but it's how it is. As someone that I'm sure most of you guys out there, you know, you've had times where your mental health is great and times where it's bad, and you're two completely different people. But I know the team kind of felt like Clay gave up on him. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say about that specifically. But this is where it gets tricky. Because like a lot of these other videos that I've done, this is the make or break. Clay's back now. So they didn't have Clay in stage 5. Okay. At the major, they didn't have him. They didn't look too good. I know they tried their hardest, but you could just tell it's a whole different ball game without Clay. Clay is their IGL. He is that guy in and out of the game for this NYSL team. I mean, Seam kind of has experience, but realistically, all 3 of these guys are young guns. Okay. Clay is kind of teaching them the ropes when it comes to not only in-game stuff, out of game, doing content for the league. You know what I'm saying? Like being an adult, they're living on their own. Because Clay has that experience. Clay's an old head. You know, he's damn near 30 or is 30. He might be 30, 29. 30. Is he 30? I don't know. But so when you replace someone like him with Diamond Con, who's a very, very solid player, it's just different. Seam had to then step up, be that IGL. Okay. While he's trying to do everything else, he needed to be that guy. He's never been in a position where he was solely that IGL. You know, I think Seam was kind of like Clay's right hand with this team, kind of really helping out Mac and Hydra just in the ins and outs of the game. But then you saw him have to solely do it. And it's a lot of work. It is. It's a lot of work being the floor general while he's also being the route man, while he's also supposed to be the entry fragger, you know, the aggressive sub in your face. It's a lot. And the team just looked lost without Clay. They did. They did not look structured at all. You saw it in their performances. But at the same time, the team felt betrayed by Clay. So it's one of these things. It's like, do we believe in Clay coming back and we kind of drop everything? We drop all this, I guess, I don't even want to say anger, but like drop beef essentially and start a clean slate? Or is that something that's going to linger in the back of all their minds? Like, oh, Clay gave up on us, you know, at the second biggest tournament all year. It's tough. It's a lot easier said than done, guys. I know there's a lot of money. There's a ring, you know, who cares? This is your job. Just be a professional. It's so much easier said than done. And I know they've been scrimming with Clay for, you know, the past week. Seam told me that practice has been going pretty well, which is a good sign. You know, they've been looking really good, a lot better than they have as of late. But that is what is going to hurt or help this team. I don't know if they're all going to be able to kind of start from a clean slate, Clay included. You know, because I heard there were some issues within the team even before he decided to take a step back for stage 5 for stage 5. But if they can all drop that and move forward, they could be a dominant team. They have the pieces, man. They have one of the better sub duos in the league in Hydra and Seam. Clay, obviously, Clay's had his ups and his downs individually. I think at certain points in Cold War, he was the best main AR. At certain points, he obviously wasn't playing up to his expectations, wasn't playing up to his potential. You have Mac, one of the better second ARs in the game. So they have all the pieces. But this is a lot to get over. Okay, guys? Because when this sort of thing happens, even though it's always been different, it has never been this scenario for me. But personally, when you kind of lose that trust with your teammates, lose that respect in a sense, it is hard to gain it back. It's like there's this famous quote, trust is like a glass window or something. When you break the trust, you can't fix it. It's broken. That was a Fugazi quote. I don't know if that was actually it, but I know you guys get what I'm saying. So that is something that will be hard, because I think if they can't get over it, they're going to have a very mediocre champs. They will definitely not be any, they won't sniff, won't even come within an arm's reach. Actually, an arm's reach with a 12-foot pole. They won't even get close to the champs, even being in the finals. But if they can, all man up, all be professionals, which is very hard, especially when you're playing with these guys, talking to these guys every damn day. If they can, I think they have a legitimate shot. Okay. Clay obviously hasn't played for a little bit. I know he's been getting reps with him. So maybe he needs to do a little bit of catching up to do, compared to the other main ARs in the league, especially the main ARs on the top dogs, the favorites going into champs. But all the other players have been playing. And yeah, they've been in a little bit of a situation. They haven't been the best. They probably haven't been feeling the best. They're a nasty team. We've seen what they do when they play up to their potential with Hydra in the lineup. They're in the finals. They're playing phase. The games are competitive. They can make that run here. Like I said, it's really hard to kind of pinpoint certain modes besides control, because I think even with Hydra, control has been their weak point. But that comes secondary to just getting over this emotional hump of trying to rebuild that team chem. I don't know if they've already kind of given up on Clay in the lineup. Even though they're playing with him, it's just kind of like, oh, whatever, it's chalk. We're just going to go into champs and whatever happens, happens. Or if they're taking the necessary steps to rebuild it as much as they can before champs, so everyone's having a good time. Everyone's on the same page. There is no trust issues, no issues within the team. That is the most important thing. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. We're just going to be able to see. I'm not going to, talk to Seam. Oh, yo, Seam, what's up, bro? What's up with Clay? How's the squad feeling about Clay? How's Clay? That's not for me. But that is their end all be all right there. However they can figure out this problem. They've had many problems all year. None of them come close to what happened in stage 5. And I hope, for the sake of wanting to watch good competitive Call of Duty, having a bunch of teams that could potentially win champs, I hope they can figure it out. I do. But like I said, man, I know you guys are going to say too, what's so hard about it? I go to work with people I hate all the time. It's about being a professional. It is hard. Okay, even if you guys can do it, trust me, it is hard. And some of you guys probably understand that. But I'm excited to see them at champs, man. It would have felt so weird not seeing Clay play at champs. I mean, this guy is currently back-to-back Black Ops 4 and MW. Would love to see him go for the 3-peat. He's going to have a tough task in front of him. There's a lot of great teams. As always, I want to know what you guys think. It is going to help them reach that level at champs, or what you think will hurt them. honestly, this episode is going to be pretty straightforward. I think you guys probably all agree that it has to be whatever this issue internally was. But it's so hard to paint a picture because they've had so many matches with different players in crucial times because of these obstacles. So as always, guys, I appreciate the love. I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy. Deuce.